Hey everybody, it's Lon.TV, and we're back once again with my favorite game console at the moment, the Nintendo Switch. And I've been looking for alternative docking station options for a while now. A couple of months ago, we looked at the LREGO Dock, which was okay, but I wasn't all that crazy about the build quality, and I think if you don't put your Switch on it the right way, you might put some undue stress on the connector. And I've been seeing a lot of these little USB-C docking stations that have been converted for use with the Nintendo Switch, and I wanted to try them out. So this one is a newer one called the JYS, and it costs about $30 on Amazon right now. And in many ways, it reminds me of some of these little pocket USB docking stations, in that you've got your power input right there. You have an HDMI output here for your monitor, and then over here you've got a USB 3 output for charging a controller or plugging in a LAN adapter or something like that. And it's certainly a lot smaller than the big dock is from Nintendo, and I wanted to see if one of these things actually works. So we're going to take a look at that right now. I do want to let you know, though, in the interest of full disclosure, that I paid for this with my own funds. It costs about $30. All the opinions you're about to hear are my own. Nobody is paying for this review, and no one has reviewed this content before it was uploaded. And now let's get to it and see if this thing works. Now, I found with this docking adapter that there's a very set process you have to follow for this to work. So the first thing you want to do is get your game loaded up on the Switch and running. I'm doing this primarily so it doesn't put itself to sleep. The next step is you take the docking adapter and attach it to your Nintendo Switch. And then you take out your HDMI cable and connect that. And the last step here is to connect up the power. I'm using the official Nintendo adapter right now, but you could also use an aftermarket one. I was using the Nico one earlier, and that one worked okay as well. But my suggestion would be, just for safety's sake, go with the Nintendo adapter, just so you don't have any real power issues here. And there you go. You're up and running here with a docking solution that costs about $60 when you factor in the cost of the dock and the power adapter you need to go with it, and it seems to work okay. And I say okay because if I pause the game here and put the console to sleep and then go to turn it back on again, it will not come back up. This is the same issue we ran into with the Nico dock when we first tested it. They did issue a firmware update for that one to correct the issue, but it just doesn't like to come back up from sleep. Likewise, if you plug everything back into the console here with all of the cables attached, it won't work either. So there is a bit of a process here that you have to follow. Otherwise, this thing will not work at all. And I almost wonder if at some point Nintendo might push out a future firmware update for the Switch that disables some of these aftermarket devices from working in the first place. And that is the key thing to consider here, that this is an aftermarket device. This thing could maybe fry your console or something. I haven't seen it do that with mine, but you never know with these USB-C devices from unknown manufacturers. And there doesn't seem to be a name brand portable dock out there that you can get. And if it does happen to trash your console, you're on your own with this. You'll have to pay to get it repaired. You probably will lose your save game data in the process, so there is some degree of risk here going with an aftermarket device like this. But if you're looking for something portable that you can throw in a bag easily, this did at least work for me. I was able to run my games for a good length of time without it burning out my console in that short testing period I was running with last night. One other consideration with the Switch is that it does have vents here at the bottom that need to be kept clear, because it sucks in air through these two vents here on the bottom and pushes that air out the top here so it can keep its processor cool. And if you have it laying flat here, it might get a little warm. I don't know if it's going to overheat necessarily. There's probably some controls for that built into its software, but nonetheless, you probably don't want these vents just kind of sitting flat like this. You may want to find a way just to prop it up a little bit to get some airflow through there. That's not a problem on the official dock because it does have a channel for that air to flow a little bit better. So there is definitely a trade-off in convenience here by going with an aftermarket third-party portable dock. You have to follow this procedure every time you want to turn on your console. It's certainly not as easy to use as the official dock. And there is a new wrinkle in all of this, because the official dock has dropped in price. This used to sell for $90. I'm now seeing it sold brand new for $60, and that includes the power adapter and an HDMI cable. I think that's the price it should have been in the first place, and I think this might actually disrupt the third-party docking market at this point, because you'll get the official dock here for a fairer price, I think, and you won't have any of the risks involved with buying something that is not an official Nintendo product. So I was pleased to see that. This isn't portable, of course. It's certainly a lot easier to carry this thing around in a power adapter than this in a power adapter, but if you are not really in need of a portable solution, pay the $60, get the Nintendo dock and power adapter, and I think you'll have a much better experience with that. I'll put links down below for where you can find all of this stuff in the video description, and let me know what your docking experiences are as well. This is Lon.TV. Thanks for watching.
This channel is brought to you by the Lon.TV supporters, including gold level supporters of the Black Eyed and Blues Music Hour podcast: Chris Allegretta, Gerard Newberg, and Kalyan Kumar. If you want to help the channel, you can by contributing as little as $1 a month. Head over to lon.tv/support to learn more. And don't forget to subscribe. Visit lon.tv/s.